Yeah.
Yeah, another one. Whoa, why is this shit auto playing? Look at that shit.
Oh man.
Yeah, but now that
Look
was
at
it. That's
that.
part of it, man. We started. We out
Yeah,
here
no,
podcasting and
yeah.
shit. Man got
A to
the
Z and
hat.
everything in between. Yeah, the
Man's
hat,
got the
Blues Brothers
glasses.
style. Know
Mmm.
what I mean?
Mmm.
Agent KS today, just to
Mmm.
let the viewers know the plague doctor is out on medical calls tonight and could not make it today.
Mmm.
So I donned his hat. I always
Sunday
have
night
these
calls.
special.
ER. ER.
Yeah, it's he works hard, nah
Mmm.
man. So
He work hard
I
for the
always have
money.
these shades on, but I
Mmm.
took his hat in honor. I got my
Mmm.
special agent shades.
Mmm.
But I'm Agent KS, you know what I'm
Mmm.
saying?
Agent
Tuning in for the
KS.
first time, see what's going on this podcast.
Agent KS. Out here with the Boosh. We the best. Yeah,
That's
man.
right.
Duke Money done dropped the stress test. 4 songs on that
Mm,
Spotify. Dropping music till we die. Yeah, man.
mm,
My man wants me to not wear a t-shirt. Maybe I should suit up, wear my neck and tie.
mm, mm. And
Yeah,
just
man.
get in with me and Dan Aykroyd and ride. Know what I mean?
Dan Aykroyd and Ride. The only girls on the
Blues
internet that I
Brothers.
mess with is when they suicide.
Mm.
That sounds really bad, but there really are girls that are suicide girls. Because I have to, it's PC times, so I have to preference that. I have to quickly explain that one, The suicide girls was a thing. Maybe still are. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just
That's
in
right.
case, man. It's PC times. I don't know, man. I might get the protest. We get canceled before we started. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't be canceled. I'm at a black site.
Mm.
I don't even exist really. You know what
Oh,
I'm saying?
man.
So,
Oh, man.
yeah, I could try to cancel me, but I ain't on the roster. You know what I mean? Gemini
Uncancelable.
man shit. You know what I'm saying?
Uncancelable.
Yeah. We the cancelers.
Why would we be canceling people? We don't even like that
I'm
shit.
a special agent, sometimes an
Sometimes
order
you just
comes
do
in to
it.
cancel someone.
Order in the court. All right.
Mm.
I was gonna do a rhyme there, but nah, I won't do it.
No
No
rhymes.
rhymes there. No rhymes
Order
there.
in the court, blood just for sport.
Mm. Just
I
like
saw a
nah. Go.
no go. Oh.
Go.
I saw a top 10 list because I'm always watching those.
Yeah.
And it was top 10 like dope martial arts fighting scenes. That's not what it was called, but it was like the most intense fighting scenes from movies. And I was kind of upset. They were pretty ill. There were some fights that I had never seen before. Danny, what's his name? Danny E, right?
Danny E.
I felt that's
Danny
not
Yen.
IP man.
Donnie Yen.
Donnie Yen. Yeah. Donnie Yen, yeah. I'm bugging. They had the Ip Man one where he fights the 10 dudes in the dojo. That was like up on the list. And the first, you remember that one? I think it's the first IP man where he come
yeah.
to avenge his boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gatling gun to the floor.
And I was that like I remember watching that scene and like they were right. Like I was like, damn, he sapped out. But he got another scene. He got like 2 or 3 scenes that were on the list, which was pretty interesting. But the list had to do with like the choreography of it, right? But I'm saying all this to say, yo, they had the blood sport. They had blood sport in it. And I was just like, I don't know. I felt like all the things on the list, like the choreography was ill. Like I love blood sport. Every time it even appears, there's like a ritual. I have to watch blood sport, but I don't. That's not like a great choreographed fighting movie at all.
So like, what was it based on the choreograph, or was it based on like the emotional content of like? Because if it's emotional content, you see if it's 1990 or 91, whenever that came out, you see John Claude in slow mo. And he do the kick.
They had the slow-mo scenes too.
Like that shit might feel some type of way. But if you judging it by 2020 standards, comparing it to like Infinity War and shit, it's a different type of vibe,
Nah, but the funny thing is, there were old movies on it. There was a movie. Jackie Chan is on the list a few times. So the drunken boxing fight is in there. Jet Li's in there like once or twice.
Some people like he got to be banned because honestly, you could literally just do a top 10 Jackie Chan movies in the 80s. and like probably body that whole list.
Yeah.
Like
For
85
sure.
through 90, like easily it can just be
It
him.
was crazy looking at some of them. There was like an old one from like the old back in the dub mouth days. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember which one it was. I'm sure we both seen it, but it was old. You know what I'm saying? Where it had that real old choreography, but it was still like Dragon Ball Z level. Like all of the fights that they showed, like might as well have been real life Dragon Ball Z. The way how fast it was and stuff. And
Hey, real quick.
I just didn't get that from the Bloodsport one. That's all. I
Do
just
you
was
have the
just like,
music
this
on
is.
in the background or?
Oh, that's the fan. I'll turn
Okay.
the fan off. You hear
If you
it?
need it, you need it. But I mean, like
No, it is the fan. It's making a clicking sound.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. It's the. I gotta cut the the little strings.
Okay.
To turn it on.
I thought you was making
spins,
beats
it
too,
vibrates.
man. The metronome click. I was like,
yeah. I mean, it pretty much is.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it because I have these on.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't even notice. But Bloodsport didn't fit, but I think you're right. I think that is why
It's
it was
emotional
on
content,
the list.
man.
Usually they give the parameters of what can make the list and what can't. And yeah, but it
Was
just
he
was
the
like
only
the weakest
weirdo?
fighting scenes out of all of them.
Was he the only weirdo
really
like
was.
on there? The other guys weren't on there.
Bruce Lee was on there.
No.
For
Weirdos. Weirdos like
they had
like John
all
Claude's
of the top
friends,
10s
pretty
were
much.
known.
John Claude friends, like Steven Seagal. That's who I'm trying to.
Nobody. It was Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Donnie Yen. Who else was on? Bruce Lee was on the list, but they appeared multiple times though. And the people, there was a weird one. A matter of fact, damn, it was a movie I never heard of, and I don't even remember. They didn't even highlight like a specific person. It was just the scene itself. But it's some crazy movie, man. People were fighting in the mud or in some drug house. I'd have to watch it, but it wasn't a movie I ever heard of. But it looked like a pretty bugged out fighting scene that was kind of hot, but it was just like crazy. It just had mad people. There was no Steven Seagal. There was none of those dudes. There was one movie too that was like an honorable mention that I didn't know, and I didn't know either of the dudes that were in that scene or whatever. I didn't know who they were, but everyone on the list was those people for the most part. Chuck Norris makes it, but that's because of the Bruce Lee fight. And I think that was like an honorable mention, I think.
That fight was important for the time. That's why I was like saying with the emotional content. Like
Right. But one of the illest one, the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon fight was on there when the thief tries to take the sword. So it was like the two female ones. And I remember that scene when she tried to take that green sword from her at night. They had that scene on there.
See, like me, like that's an emotional content one too, because like me at that age was probably the type of dude who was like, yo, man, like we've been doing this, like I'm Chinese, but like we've been doing this forever. Like the movies I've been watching, right? But that was America's kind of first taste of seeing that shit, And
right.
Yeah, so like that one's
but the scene is
groundbreaking for
ill
that,
though. Like when you watch the scenes that they highlight and you actually watching them, like the stuff they doing like is ill. Like that fight, like we weren't new to that type of stuff, but that fight in particular is kind of ill when you see the moves that they do into each other and how they flipping it. But the dopest one to me was like the last one on the list, and it was a movie I never seen. I think it was Donnie Yen again. He was fighting the monkey in the woods. He was fighting some dude in the forest that was ripping tree barks, but like, I don't know, they felt it mad fat. It looked like they were going mad quick. Like they were like, in real life, they had to be going quick. Even if they did camera tricks, like they were just, the speed of it was just like nuts. I was like, damn, this is ill. This look crazy. But anyway, so that's life, right? Like that's the top 10 list. That's why you should mess around with.
Donnie Yen, I feel like is someone probably because I get out of, like it served its time, like, and maybe on some subconscious level, right? As Hollywood starts to use more and more of that in their thing, it's less impressive, right? When now you don't need to go see a Chinese action movie because unless you're just really about it, like they're not doing anything that you haven't seen anymore because they kind of ripped, they took their style already from them.
Right.
So like Donnie Yen is someone like he's probably the last person I know from China, and I don't even get to dive into his filmography the way I did with Jet Li, the way I did with Chan, and maybe a few other people, because yeah, he just came too late. So I've only seen a few actual Chinese Donnie Yen movies, but he comes
Right.
here so much now. Like I feel like every couple of years you see him in something, whether it be Star Wars or he's in Mulan, So
He's ill though. Like
yeah,
when it
yeah.
comes to the scenes and the fighting and stuff, like he's definitely top notch. They had a scene with him that they highlighted. Is another movie I never seen. Because the only thing I've seen a few movies with him, but there's definitely a lot that I haven't. But this one was interesting because it didn't focus on. They said the inspiration from it was MMA, so he wanted to kind of incorporate that like into the scene, so you still get the fast block kind of stuff that you used to seeing, but then when it goes to the ground, you saw the trickery. It was that translated into the MMA. They flipping doing arm bars, triangles, but it was still that cool, real fast paced kind of kung fu.
I kind of
Flick
want to see
vibe that
that.
you get.
I want to see
But it
that
was
on the
cool.
floor.
He's like on his back and pushing, and yeah, it looked like a pretty dope scene just because it was unique. And that was what he wanted to do too. He was trying to take a different kind of like angle on it or whatever.
I'm
Yeah.
curious.
I don't even know why I brought up the top 10 list. Oh, because Bloodsport made me mad. Yeah, I was upset that I didn't feel like it should have been on the list. Like I honestly did. I get the emotional shit, but yeah. It wasn't up to par with none of the other fighting scenes that were on it. Like to me,
I feel like that. Damn, it left me, man. I'm over here thinking of streaming while I do this. I'm like, as I see bars and meters working and shit. The brain's multitasking. But nah, like
Bloodsport.
I don't think I don't. I would like to see that Donnie Yen scene on the floor because to a Western audience, like jiu-jitsu is kind of like boring, traditionally. As it keeps going, more and more people get it. Yeah, it
didn't look nothing like that. Nah.
It wasn't real. I'm sure it wasn't real because it would have just been two men doing nothing.
It's choreographed, right?
Yeah.
So it's all of them are choreographed.
They're
so
countering on the
fights,
floor, right? They're countering on. It's
if
like
you
this.
seen if UFC was like that,
yeah, everybody be about it. Yeah,
they'd run the world. They would run the world. They'd be the most valuable company. If that was happening in the ring, every pay-per-view, they flipping and count. Every counter is just a counter string, basically, with some knots in between, but it was ill.
MMA could have been completely different if it wasn't. It's always, I guess Japan kind of steered it in that way too, but they had different rounds, right? 10-minute with Pride, they had the 10-minute first round. But if it wasn't for like, the Western style audience, because right, Japan can kind of be somewhat Western, right? Like even if they are in the East. If it wasn't for the Western style audience, like MMA might be completely different. Because Vale Tudo, I don't think even had any time limit, like and that's how you get like the old style of Brazilian who is just super patient to just sit there and wait for his time because he knows if he just waits, he'll win. Even if it take an hour or two, But,
right. Jiu-jitsu is a thinking. I mean, not that striking is it, but yeah, it's a different kind of game, and it definitely don't look like that fight in that movie. But it was ill the way they did it. It was definitely a dope fighting scene. Speaking of choreography, just randomly, I think about John Wick. Like I thought that movie had. I didn't see all
part
of them.
one or just.
I only seen for the first one. I didn't see the rest.
That's all you need to do. The rest of them,
but the gunplay was ill. Like the
John
choreography on the gunplay was super dope. So I really liked that. And some of the fight scenes in Gemini Man were kind of hot. Like I like some of the fight scenes.
I don't even remember the fight scenes.
I thought the action in the movie was good. But some of the fight scenes were kind of cool. I didn't like the motorcycle one though. I thought that was dumb. I thought he should have just shot him in the head and bounced. But I try to kill him with motorcycle fighting.
Nah, man, it's a movie. We
stuff.
gotta wait for
dumb.
2 hours. We gotta do this for 2 hours.
Nah.
John Wick.
He had him.
I barely remember like anything about like I remember I had like specific thoughts and ideas about John Wick, but like I feel from what I remember like I feel like John Wick #1, it has him doing the stereotype John Wick things, but I think there was more room for action. Versus #2 and maybe even 3 is kind of just like this badass, brooding, tough motherfucker who only has like he has 3 strats, you know, like, and his main thing is kind of like take you down, like kill, like take you like it's always the same no matter what, like disarm a motherfucker, like so it might make more practical sense, but I'm like from a cinematic standpoint, like you know, there's almost less of that playful fighting that you want to see. Like it.
Well, I think one of the cool things I think with John Wick is that the gun handling is like
more
realistic. Like, so if you know gun handling, it doesn't look stupid. It don't look like people be bugging out in movies. Like, if you ever really pay attention to what people are doing with guns, like they be, it's like this is nuts. Like this is crazy. This is I laugh at mad scenes I watch. Like this is y'all would all be dead. Retarded. But that one was like kind of like cool, and he did train for it too. So I know.
Yeah, he about it.
You know, he actually runs 3-gun like real good. So it was all there. So that was kind of, if you paying attention to that part of it. Anyway, that don't make the movie. But in that aspect of choreography, I thought that was like a real cool gun movie that did that. You know what I'm saying? There's not too many gun shit like that. But yeah, Bloodsport shouldn't have been on that list. All right, I stand by that. I love Bloodsport, but it shouldn't have been on that list.
It happens. So yeah. Who knows if we'll stick to it, but yeah, the original thing I said was probably could be like maybe the life, the musics, the movies and stuff, you know. So,
Kanye 7-point plan.
Is that it?
Think?
What is the 7-point plan?
In the music, we into music. 7-point plan.
Wait, so life was Bloodsport?
Kanye West has a 7-point plan.
Now I don't know what that is. Enlighten me, dog.
You know, like you ever heard of like I'm gonna sound terrible now, but presidents and stuff, right? Like
real quick, man, he's still on that 7 too, man. Just like the albums and all that shit.
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
I'll try to pull it up.
God though, so right. So
is that like really a God number? I've always heard that's a God number, but I ain't really like. Is that God confirmed? Has God confirmed this?
I think there's things in. If you're looking at that aspect of stuff, like, yeah, I think there's some meaning in 7 is referenced a lot in the Bible, along with other numbers. What does it really mean? You know, I don't know, but it's definitely, it definitely is special or symbolic. It has some other type of meanings in some contexts. So yeah, does God really care about 7? I don't know, but.
So I have to go to Kanye's Twitter to get this 7-point plan.
I was trying to let me see if I pulled it up, but he got a 7-point. The New Deal. That's what he should have called it. The New Deal. That would have been the ill. I gotta be in marketing, man. I gotta be in marketing. Now hold up. The New Deal. FDR. You don't get it?
New Deal. Yeah.
The New Deal. Record label deals. Come on. That was a bar. The New Deal. That's what I was flip. The split, damn, that's hard too.
The artist.
All right, go ahead. Let's hear it.
The artist owns the copyright in the recordings and songs and leases them to the record label publisher for a limited term. 1-year deals, dude. 1 year.
New deal. The new deal.
Everybody's on the Michael Jordan contract. 1-year deals. 2.
Okay, what's 2?
I saw this out the corner of my eye. I was like, he wilding right now. But you know, I'm with it. But the record label publisher is a service provider that receives a share of the income for a limited term. The split can be 80-20 in the artist's favor. That is the Master P deal. That's the Master.
Now stop. Now pause before you go to number 3.
Yeah.
The word in here is a service provider.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what me and you've been talking would say, right? Like I asked you once, why they just don't go hire mercenaries to do the things that the label does outside of the loan, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If the alternative were to be to just go to somewhere else that could give you money, like say you got a loan from a bank, you could just hire people to do marketing, right? Like look at the Fire Festival, right? Like they hired, you know, the name of that digital media. I don't remember it. What's the name of it? Anyway.
Yeah, I don't remember it, but yeah.
The Fire Festival, right? But they hired
Fest, yeah.
no, but the marketing agencies they hired to run the campaign
that they had
for
two
them.
documentaries and one of them was from them.
Right.
Yeah.
You could there's people that do these things, right? That like get you visibility that could do so that's all. If they're only doing that, they're just service providers. If they're not giving you a loan, that's where you become tethered to it. But like if I got my money from Joe and this shit ain't got nothing to do with you, why would I even share all of this stuff from you? You just recording. You just providing services.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't tethered to Amazon. I ain't tethered to my utility company. Give me electricity, I give you money. That's it. We ain't in no contract beyond that.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Get food out of my fridge also and all kind of other shit. But go on.
Labels ain't gonna like that.
I like the way it defines them as a service provider.
Dependence. Artists must be dependent on no one but themselves to manage their catalog. You should need no one else to understand the business you're in. Well, that's just kind of just putting the onus on us, though, right? Right.
Now, this is now a rule now, though.
No, it's a rule now. I mean, that's essentially the life. Because I mean, hasn't that rule always been in case that
people ain't following it though? See, it ain't law yet.
The lawyers.
Oh,
why you laugh? I
don't know. That sounds like this is gonna be a crazy one.
The first thing that changes about record deals is actually lawyers. We need. How is it the first thing? It's number 4. It's just number 4.
Anyway, come on, don't hate the genius.
We need plain English contracts, son. A lawyer role is to improve deals, not charge for contracts we cannot understand or track. Rewrite deals to be understandable from first read. It's true. Like NBA,
I'm down for this.
NBA speak is ridiculous. Yo, why? You more into the real game, the stock, right? What is the shareholder like part portion of the what? I don't even remember. It's been so long since I've looked at those things, right? Every company puts out their bullshit with their financials, and it's in NBA terms. Why? Why are we using NBA speak? Why can't it be like, yeah, this quarter sucked? Like they don't need to be that plain. But I mean,
so it depends on what it is, right? Like if you in the medical field, there's medical terms, like, and to understand medicine, like you just need to understand some of those things.
Yeah.
So on a certain level, like reading financials isn't hard if you understand what those things mean, and they do mean things. They're not like made up terms meant to confuse you or anything like that. But it just is what it is. So, but law. So yeah, I don't think financial statement, but maybe that's because I know how to read them. I don't find them like trickery. They could do trickery with math and stuff, and I think that's kind of different. But on the face value, if you understand what an income statement looks like, you can read one for a big company. It's not, but law is different. I feel like contracts and legal, even shit that we got to do with the government, that shit is convoluted.
Because if these are things we're beholden to, whether we want to or not, right? We should understand them then, right? It shouldn't be tricking us.
They should be for common things, right? Like we're not even in, I don't know. Like I do agree. And to your point, even for financial statements, they probably could be made a little bit more like palatable and like user friendly, essentially. Like they could be. And contracts and stuff should be written. Ye thou hearth, on the 4th, should the reverseth of the 3rd clause on the 5th section C, you'll have to take 30 paces back, and on the 3rd moon, and you're like, what does this mean? And it's just like, oh, like every first we're gonna pay you, 50% of what you get. And you're like, that's not what this said on the 3rd moon, ye who walketh shall receive from the 5th cow. Like this shit don't make no sense.
The 5th cow, let's go.
Yeah, no, I'm being silly, but I'm sure they're not the easiest thing. You ever read legislation for anything?
Yeah, yeah,
Like a bill or something?
yeah. It's
Some of that
ridiculous.
shit don't be like I'd be lost. Like I could follow along and understand it, but like in total, I'm just like, I don't know what the rules are. I don't
Mm.
know. This stipulation, so I'm down with that.
5. Equity and blanket licenses are the majority of future new income. If you're with a major, you have invested your songs as shares in their power to get equity in deals. Almost all new deals now are based on all songs going to a store or app. The equity is the artist. So. And now 6 and 7, I need their. I don't know. This article just gave up. I guess so it's really hard to
Also,
find
I
these
have
point. You have 6 and 7.
yeah. It says number 5 too, so there's two number 5s.
Oh shit!
But we'll say it's number 6.
I'll just go to the 7.
Advances are just loans. On artists re-signing, these stop. Advances are loans with 75% interest rates or worse. Jeez. No other business in the world takes a look at the business, buys shares, starts to profit when it profits. Record companies have to buy into you, not loan you.
Mm.
So, okay.
Hold on. In
Royalties,
between
number
this, wait, hold
6.
on, hold on. In between the 5s, he says, yeah, no more blanket license. It should be clear from day one what shares you get now when you leave. If your song helps a deal over the line, you invested in that store app, same as they did. UMG has a 2.2 billion shares holding stake in Spotify. This is the artist. The system is how we get share balances on our royalty statement. Needs to be created and a system on when artists can cash in.
I'm rolling.
Because, I mean, like I've told you, right? Like, let's say you go out here independent, Like just say you rush, right? And you are killing the game as an independent. In a world where the 3 majors own, they get 70% of Spotify's right income, some crazy shit like that. Like
Right.
Russ is on that 30%. Like imagine if it was kind of fair, how much money Russ would be. like he might
Right.
damn near be getting close to that billionaire thing, like, and he ain't that's so yeah. He's playing a crazy game, but Ian Reed 6, right?
6.
You want
6
you gonna do it? All right.
royalties. This is technically 7, but 6. This is an 8-point plan actually, but uh, again, back to dependence. You need a business manager to read how you did. Oh, you need a business manager to read how you did. That's a question. So you pay to see your money? No more. Royalty portals need to show and do not now every song you delivered, every store you were in, how many streams per song, income per song, metrics basically. He's saying this needs to be, y'all need to get it, and it needs to be transparent. Royalty portals need to show every song you delivered, every store you were in, how many streams per song, and the income per song.
It sounds
I'm
basic
sure
and
that
logical, but does not exist. They focus on
I'm
top
sure that
earners
could go deeper.
and zero look at the 440 stores. Only the few artists are global. That's why their contract territory says global. Royalty department in every label. No more separating finance teams from the music. And then 7, the portals.
Portals are not just for royalties. They are for your entire business. Every audio file, every asset, every deal stored with the money. Money and music must stay together. When your term ends, download it all, leave. And then his last little thing. This is a call for all artists to unify. Uh-oh. The war. He shot the signal out to the sky. He calling. I will get my masters. I got the most powerful lawyer in music, and I can afford them. But every artist must be freed and treated fairly. That's it. Okay.
5 main pillars in professional music business: recording, publishing, touring, merchandise, name and likeness.
What you think? because you're really, in the midst of this more than I guess I am. But how do
Yeah,
you?
I mean, it all sounds nice. Like, I don't know. Like, I get my act like together. Like, I was planning to always be like independent anyway. So it seems like he's trying to independentize the real game.
But that's because the game wasn't fair,
It wasn't. That's why
right?
there's he shouldn't be there.
Do you think there's like a drum beat chorus happening now around this, or is just
It's hard, right? It's hard to tell, right? Because who knows what we're seeing if it's truth or not? I don't know.
mm,
Just like Russ used to always say, like, uh, the fake independent artists, right? Because it's a nice narrative for them. Um, who knows? Maybe this is the new narrative, preaching ownership, but like,
do you think that there will be a change from some of the stuff happening now?
it all depends on where it's aimed, right? We talk about it with the protests, right? I mean, he could keep tweeting this for 5 more years, but unless like people really start doing this shit,
That's what I'm asking you. Do
yeah,
you think that people are gonna?
I don't know,
Because
man.
now
Like,
it's a vocal person. Now it's like one of the industry's top. It's essentially Jay-Z who's been saying this, right? But
but Jay-Z is
not the
the
way
industry.
Kanye is gonna do
Because
it.
Jay-Z is the
Yeah,
industry.
oddly enough,
That's why he ain't
right?
saying it. That's why he ain't saying it.
But here's the one of the most prolific icons in the music, right? In the culture, who doesn't own their masters. There's others, but like Kanye, right? His whole thing, and now he's going off on this thing. You hear Joe Budden and the stuff going on over there. Like, do you think in the climate of everything on top, because that changes, I think, the discussion. I think this isn't new and it's been brought up before, but it's an interesting time now to bring it up because now everybody, right, are sensitive about this, PC this, fair, everything's all of these kind of causes. So do you think in this time of all of this that this actually might get some real traction? All of the race things mixed in this too. Do artists really start putting their money where their mouth is and like, you know what I'm saying? Like essentially it's almost some BLM type thing in a sense. I lump it up all together. I think there's an argument for that. You know how I would twist this, but
I mean, it definitely could be because there are people, because it's still ongoing right now, so people are still motivated. It's
mm,
only 3 months ago people were doing songs, like almost
mm,
every week. Um, I mean, like, I like to say, like, probably now is probably the best time for this, right? It don't hurt that Kanye uh, keeps talking about it. And, a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, I'm about it. Whether it be Hit Boy, think, ooh, Triple Red, like all these other people that I'm not as familiar with. They all
right.
seem about it. So I'm like, if that continues. Something interesting would be is if another famous artist starts being vocal with him, you know? That
Mm.
might be
Mace,
interesting.
Mace, I saw Mace commented. He said, I think he said
Famous
something along the
artists
lines
of
like
the now,
Kanye.
like, I mean, but what may say?
Well, because a few months ago, there was a little thing with like Puffy still owns his thing, right? Like he's in this same kind of thing. And I think it was
Oh yeah, yeah, and that's the thing with some of the guys, right? Whether it be Puffy or Jay-Z, right? They seem to be guilty of doing some of the same thing, right?
yeah, and I don't know what Kanye's comment on it was at the time, but Mace I guess Mace said Kanye owed him an apology. So maybe at the time Kanye said something. I don't know why he felt like that, but maybe he wasn't getting the support. You know what I'm saying? When he was kind of bringing up his situation, which while he may not be a major artist, like Puffy is still very much right, like a big figure in things. Not in the artist sense, but he's by far not. He's not irrelevant, right? Revolt, all of this stuff. He's still in the background for stuff. Everyone knows his name. So, but that kind of, yeah, kind of, I don't know, kind of got brushed aside. Like whenever it involves these dudes, like we don't look at it. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it'd be nice. Um, yeah, it'd probably be better for everybody, and maybe just less fuckery on all
They
the
gonna
label
come. That's what
fronts.
you say. That's how that y'all just they gonna come. We gonna be free one day. That's
Well, like I mean, like right, like I'm on a different end of the thing of the bracket, and like being here, it's just like we can just over here carve out our own niche of the land anyway, So it's like, I want the best for them, but it's like, like clearly y'all saying California is on fire, right? I probably shouldn't go over there. Like,
he don't even care about that world, but you still for the
yeah.
fight anyway.
Yeah. But I'm like, from what you
Okay.
guys saying, like this is not a good place to go at all.
Don't even go there at all. Don't even go there at all.
Yeah,
But it
like,
should be a good place, and maybe that's the point, right? Like, is are you only saying that right because that place is bad, or do you just think like fuck it completely, or like you would be maybe more apt to do those things if you knew you guys aren't gonna dick me or it's terrible there. Like I never was thinking about going up there. Why would I? It's on fire, but it's not supposed. It shouldn't be on fire. So if it wasn't, do you think you would change, or would you just still like, nah? I'm gonna still
well,
do the
right
independent
now,
kind of thing.
it's the fire, right? But I think for a majority, right? You heard the beat battle earlier today, right? I'm always trying to do these weird things anyway, right? And it just seemed the more you in that real world, unless you one of these like special people, like more than likely, it seemed like, man, there's a lot more control, like in what you're trying to do. It's not just like, yo, I want to make music, like that's cool, but Steve, Bobby, and Joe gotta approve it, or they don't like the direction you going. Well, yo, and we don't gotta even leave it. Yo, Dr. Dre out here telling Rakim, yo, I think you should rap about gangster shit. Like really, like so that type of shit when you just trying to, you just trying to do whatever it is you trying to do. It seemed very unappealing, and it's like the only appealing thing, especially for me right now, right, would be that fake check that you get, right? Because you got to pay it back. That's why it's a fake check. But
Right.
outside of that, it's like, yeah, outside of the money, it's like, why would you even want to be there? Like, yeah.
Right.
So,
Okay.
like, it was always at its most appealing when we were younger, because when we were younger, that's kind of the only way. And it wasn't the only way, but that's the only way you're even aware of, right? So yeah, you want to be on a label. But then as you see more, I remember hearing KRS-One talk about being independent on Hot 97, It's probably on one of these indie shows, because once he went independent, you get baby blackballed. But he was like, look, man, I'm making $10 off of every CD now. Um,
Mm.
and this is like late 90s, mid 90s, around there. So he was still pretty happy, even though he wasn't selling shit. I don't even think I understood what the hell he was talking about. All I heard was he's making more money, but I didn't. I don't think I could even grasp the concept, because he was trying to say like he was making $1 or less on his old label, per sale, versus now he's
Right.
making 10 on each one. Um, but even hearing that as a child, you're like, all right, uh, label's the only way, like I don't even know what an independent means.
Right. That's where all the real
Independent,
people are. That's
yeah,
where
independent at that point is probably like synonymous to underground. Like, all right, you this
being
weirdo
on
rap.
a
Like,
indie label,
yeah,
really, you know
yeah,
what I'm saying? And that's what that kind of
yeah,
was, because those people had deals too. Like there really wasn't independent. Like, you
yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? This
So
weird hybrid or whatever you call fake independent or whatever. But yeah, I'm for it though. I think what he's saying is true.
it would
From what I
likely be a good
understand,
thing. It would be a good thing. So it doesn't seem like there's nothing bad. I'm just
yeah.
curious, like, I don't know, does anything happen off of this? Like, but it does seem to be in every field, right? Like, the fires are being lit everywhere, right? Um, whether it's budding in podcasting land, or like Kanye in
Right.
music land. And maybe he is, and I don't know, but like Kanye ain't even I think I heard half of a Button clip. I was like, Kanye is not even in a label thing, but maybe he is. Like I don't know. Maybe he's at the. I think he might be at the end of a deal or something. But like, it's not something he. I don't follow his Twitter like that. You know, this is just big enough that it's coming on our radar. He hasn't been as vocal about it as Button, but at the same time, we pay Button attention. You know, so I don't know. You know, like
Yeah.
so. But yeah, no, it seemed like it'd be
Yeah.
good for people. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. At the least, it's definitely something that should be, I guess, said loudly.
Yeah, yeah.
Things happen with it now, but
I,
yeah.
w- I would like. I just like. Let's say all those things happen. Do we still get the same commercial fuckery that we always get though? In that world where artists kind of own their shit, you know, and
It don't
money's
sound
right.
like it. It don't sound
Like
like
I
it. It
mean, us
sound
as
like
consumers now, do we still get the same commercial fuckery? Because technically, none of those things would necessarily change things, right?
musically.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say I'm gonna follow the money. So if the ownership and all of this stuff is now in the sphere of the artist, I'm gonna say they have the leverage, right? Like this is placing the value, and the centerpiece is the artist, where the things are coming from. I don't speak of creative control and none of the things he brought up. I think Joe touches on those kind of things, but I would assume that I don't know. I think that'd be up to artists. I think some artists would continue to do what has been, proven is good mainstream music and things that are popular. The money is just different now. And I think some people would be like, okay, cool. Like now that I don't got to play these games and I don't got to do this stuff to pay these loans back and keep up with this because I'm getting fucked up and I'm not getting my money and all of these things. I think maybe some people, and now that you're getting more money, now that you're getting a bigger cut, maybe you don't necessarily need to do those things to get the same amount of money, right? Like the same value. Maybe people opt to be like, you know what, I don't need to do that kind of stuff. And now I could do this. And maybe it's not as popular, but I'm getting, right? I'm getting my fair cut of it, right? Like now it's just the market, really. You know what I'm saying? You're not getting screwed over at the least. If you flop, you flop, right? Or if people don't like it, but I'm now also getting jerked around in the background for this. Or is such that like shit, I gotta give in just to get this money back and pay it back and keep things going. So I don't know. I think it would change up a little bit, but I don't know. Do consumers want not commercial shit? I guess that's the real question, right? Like, what do
I
the
mean, I
consumers
mean this
want?
in the nicest way. Like, man, because it sucks. Because like, because we are them too, and it's like I have wants and needs, but I think at the end of the day, you can just always tell them what to do. Because
The consumers or the
to some, yeah, yes and no. I mean, obviously, there's more choice now than ever before, but it's just like, obviously, this is like, I mean, look at Netflix, right? Like, there's some cool shit on there for sure, but at the end of the day, Netflix is kind of dictating. All right, this is what you're gonna watch for this year, and now
you know what? I agree with you.
away
I
from
agree.
Hillary Swank, that's gonna be the topic, for the next week and a half.
Y'all
Lucifer.
set the trend.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think you're
yeah,
right. You know what? I think the stuff is hot now because it's the stuff that's shown and people
yeah.
just like I think if the Migos were doing something different and they were popular and people liked them, they would still like it if people were saying this was cool. You know what I'm saying? Like the funny thing, especially with rap, is those things don't come from the consumers. None of the shit that's cool in rap is from the people's popular choice. Chains, this a lot of the aesthetics is from the street shit, the glam of the street shit. They'll tell you that if you go back. So all of the things that are deemed popular that people like, the content, the flash, the style, the slang, all of that isn't even coming from the consumers anyway. That's
Mm,
coming from
the culture.
where the culture and how people were talking about it and doing that stuff. But it's like, yeah, they're making it hot, I guess, right? Like if the drug dealers or wherever the source of coolness was coming from, if they thought wearing some shit that was crazy looking or whatever, if that's what the fly people were wearing or the trendsetters, right? Like, that's going to end up being what's cool to everybody else, right? Because people were always looking at people to, yo, what's cool? What's the in thing? What's the popular thing, right? Like fashion, the trends, right? Everybody end up dressing the same, right? Go from baggy to skinny because people was probably doing now. Maybe a rapper picked it up, whatever. People started now. That's the cool, popular thing. But yeah, I think y'all would dictate what's cool. I think if creators were like, yep, this is what I'm doing now, and I think this is cool, that'll be cool. Because they could do it at will just because off of it being visible.
If all that happens, though, do the radios and media, even though they have less and less of a stronghold as internet grows, but do they even have their power still? Because none of that's really mentioned in there, you know.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they're still the ones showing that. So I mean, if you're going to those, whatever they're gonna choose to show, yeah, I guess would still maybe be highlighted. I guess like it would still have an impact, the media, but.
Hey, on a jokey thing, I submitted this podcast to iHeartRadio. You think we can get on Charlemagne's thing?
Black. I'm black.
Yeah.
Yeah, we qualify. I'm Puerto Rican too, so you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They probably got like a little waiver for you or something.
I'm New York,
like
Puerto Rican too, you know.
No, we eligible.
Yeah.
We eligible.
Just saying, Charlemagne. You know, we submit it to iHeart. You know, let's go.
We talking real topics for the people, music liberation. You know what I mean? We here, but I think they'd be influential. It'd be interesting. I guess the what I don't know is the angle that they would take in a world that was going on. Like, what would they pick and choose to highlight? Like, how would that look? And maybe that game wouldn't change, right? Like, whoever could pay the most is what's going to get highlighted. So maybe we don't quite escape.
Now it turns to Facebook ads. It turns to Facebook ads.
Yeah. So maybe on TV, but I don't know. I don't know how those variables would like affect others. So I'm not sure. But I think you're right though that like the creatives dictate what's cool, right? Because they're the ones creating the new things, right? Like if you're not creating, how are you fucking setting trends? What are you doing to set a trend? Doing nothing? If that's the trend? But people that are making new stuff, people that are putting on new clothes or trying a new style, and they're brave enough to go wear it and do it, and this is what I think is fly now or whatever, then people might see that and roll with it. So that's what we've been doing, right? But it's just a little fake though, right? They be placing the Pepsi on the shelf. They ain't really there, but organically, but it's there, right? Like it's popular. That's what people gonna flow to. But yeah. You're right. The creatives create. That's where the things come from. Can't have a new style. Can't have a trend if you ain't created.
Creators gonna create.
All right. Whoever made up trap beat sounding beats. Whoever was the first person. And I kind of like the way this sound and created that, or the people that did that. Right. Look where it is now.
T.I. did that.
Right?
T.I.
Not the beats wasn't like that though.
Yeah, I know.
But still, even that, people creating stuff, and it becomes a thing.
I was just saying that, by the way, because he calls himself king of the South.
I know. That was before the current trap. That was a different trap.
Yeah.
There were two trap.
The real trap, the actual trap.
Yeah,
some happy trap music. Like those melodies are some happy trap music, dude.
Yeah.
It's like lullaby trap sometimes, yo.
Yeah. But on to movies real quick.
Or we're not gonna really do this, but I saw, since I was looking at Kanye's Twitter, that's one of the things trending. The Emmys, which might be like TV shows. I don't know what Emmys are.
All right. I wanted to touch on nothing.
I'm not really gonna do the Emmys. Fuck the Emmys. Don't give a fuck.
we could look at the Emmys, but I noticed some on Amazon.
You know what we should do for ended? And no, I'll let you do that. But my friend texted it to me a while ago. But beat battles and stuff were happening. I haven't seen it. The WandaVision trailer came out, and we could watch
we could
that,
check that
edit
out.
it. You know, maybe I could
All
even.
right.
I don't know. That might be too much shit. Well, I won't try to put it in here. But anyway, yeah. Continue. WandaVision trailer.
So, I was watching Amazon yesterday, right? Looking for something to watch. I usually go through all of them terrible.
Oh, you mean Prime Video? The Prime Video?
Prime Video. I told you. You said you random select. You got a lot more discipline than me. You said you just
on Prime Video. I do.
Anything.
Where are you watching Prime Video on? Computer? Is it Roku?
TV.
Like Roku style shit?
Nah, it's in
Smart
the
TV.
native.
So it's the same UI like a Roku though. Ain't it a shitty UI compared to like Netflix and shit? It's a shitty UI, right? The Amazon one.
I'm not a big fan of it. It's a little.
That's why I random select
crazy.
On there. It is crazy.
They give you too many. They give you too many like subcategories. Like you recently watched this, but it's too many.
The whole UI is based on your algorithm too. So if you went one day on a path you ain't like, you stuck. You kind of just stuck forever.
Yeah. I'd be like, I don't like none of this shit. Y'all recommending some.
It took forever to get the anime recommended on the TV UI of Prime, dude. Like I had to watch that shit on the computer, like for that shit.
Prime's pretty bad. They all have. Hulu's bad too. Hulu has a crazy UI.
It is.
Hulu's UI is nuts.
It is.
That shit don't make no sense.
My sister hates that shit.
It's nuts. Yeah, I barely go. It be having some movies on there too. It be having some stuff.
But it's hard finding them. Shit make you work for that shit. Netflix got the illest UI. Got the illest fast forward, man. Their fast forward is hard. Their fast forward is hard, man.
Look where. Why? It's 2020. Why? Why is the highlight the fast forward feature?
No, but even more funny is like if they're the leader and even the concept of Hulu and all of that is a ripoff of Amazon, right? They're all ripoffs of Netflix. If you're gonna rip them off, rip all of it off. Don't just rip off. Wouldn't it be cool to have video too? And that's it. And then they just stopped at that.
Yeah.
TOO.
It's a little nuts.
All of it. Take all of it. Take all of it. Continue. I'm sorry.
Disney's good. Disney's UI is
better.
Is
it is better. Fast forward is kind of
yeah.
trash though, but it's better.
It is, yeah. But the UI for selecting is a little simpler.
Yeah.
But I said that because I usually end up looking through like at least Netflix and Amazon to see what they have. I usually end up wasting mad time looking for something. So I'm looking. I was like, you know what? Let's actually pay for something new because it was me and Tab. So I looked and she saw the movie Antebellum.
Oh, you did
that
watch
was that
it?
movie I thought.
No.
Listen to the story.
All right. I'll be jumping. I get excited.
So it says early access, right? I thought it was out in the movies. I thought it was out for some reason. So I'm thinking it's gonna be like $5.99. That's usually like the new movies that just come is $99. But then it had this early access. I don't even know if I ever seen it. And I go, it's like $19.99 to rent. Not to buy it.
Oh, you couldn't buy it?
To rent. No, this is what I'm saying. This was to view it. And I'm like, are they doing, is that, I didn't know what it was. Early access. I was like, so is it not out, but they early released it here to try to get you for the $20, like a movie ticket kind of purchase? Because that's what I was interpreting it as. Like, oh, y'all want me to pay theater to watch this shit because it's early release. So it was just an interesting observation in the current time. I was just like, I've never seen, maybe it's been there. I've never looked for early access.
It's the first shit. It's just the first kind of big movie that you wanted to see. That's why you haven't noticed it, because you didn't notice it for Trolls 2. You were like, Orion got something. He could watch other shit. He could watch Trolls 1 right here for free.
Right.
And you didn't watch the Staten Island movie? You didn't watch Mulan? Yeah, this is like the new because ain't no real theaters, So yeah,
$20. Nah,
I was trying to find it in a theater right now. I couldn't really find it. Yeah, like so.
That's that's what I thought it was, but I was like -$20.
But I think depending on the company, I don't know if they all renting it to you. That's kind of fuckery. Like usually it was
renting.
Yeah,
and I think you get 48 hours. I think.
Bill and Ted also. Bill and Ted was another $20 one, by the way.
Yeah, when I saw Rent 20, I was like, absolutely not. I was like, damn, the Rent? Like, me ain't even buying it. I was like, nope. But that was kind of new to me, and I was just like, oh, here's the things. Here they're trying to get it. I don't know if that's gonna work though on Amazon Prime. I don't know how many people gonna be wrong.
Maybe the early access is rent only for some reason. I don't know. Like that's some new shit too in the COVID. That started with Tenet. Tenet was supposed to come out. I'm gonna make up the date. Let's just say September 1st. For whatever reason, the whole last week of August, Tenet was playing in theaters already. You don't got to do nothing special. But it was called Tenet Early Access. I'm not sure if the tickets were more during that time. But it was just called literally, like, if you bought that ticket, it said Tenet Early Access. It had its own showing. You could literally buy tickets for Tenet, but you had to wait till September, or you could buy Tenet Early Access. You know, like so that so might be
they spinning some gimmicks to try to squeeze
that might be the new shit.
That
might be the new shit. Tenet,
the
early access.
Whoa. Shit. But I thought that was interesting because we had just finished talking about that a few days ago, and I had just saw it yesterday. But that was the only movie thing that I really had related to movies. I didn't see anything new.
I saw half of The Devil. Oh, The Devil All the Time. That's what it's called. The Devil All the Time. And so that's we were just talking about Netflix. That's the movie that Netflix has ordered us to watch for the next week and a half. You know, like came out on Tuesday. It stars I thought maybe if I watched the whole thing, but it stars Twilight Batman, Spider-Man, and Winter Soldier. They're all in it. I saw like maybe 30 minutes of this movie. Then we got like a phone call from the family in New Jersey, and like family issues was happening. We never finished the movie. Still haven't. I ain't trying to see this shit. It's a normal movie. I don't, unless some crazy more fuckery is gonna happen later. I wouldn't say this is in the horror category, but it's kind of in the like, you know, just bad stories, bad things happening. Story like, is white people thriller, in the South, kinda. Like Kentucky. Like 1950s era, so Kentucky and West Virginia, and I don't know, just like poor white people, just like their issues and bad stuff, and maybe believing a little bit too much into religion. So like one dude stabbed his wife with a screwdriver, and he's like he was like practicing so he can do the resurrection in church, but he wanted to practice in the field first, make sure the resurrection works, you know? So he stabbed his wife with a screwdriver, and unbeknownst to her, she wasn't like about it, you know, she thought she was going for a walk. But you know, like this guy is like literally like, all right, God, let's go. Come on. I'm ready. like bring her back, you know, like, and he's just waiting there, and so it's just like silly shit like that. It seemed like people like just doing dumb stuff in the South and being mad at God because things don't work, you know. Another man's like wife died of cancer, and so he kind of killed his son's dog. His son was mad pissed. Like, why you do that shit? You know, like he's like, here, I killed this dog. Can I have my wife back? It's like, I don't know. It's like people read the Bible all weird. So like, just trying to.
Meanwhile. The Lucifer from the other shows looking up at God like, why you keep making these? You see this? You see what's going on in Kentucky? That's
they blame it on him. They blame it on him.
You be entertaining this stuff. You keeping this shenanigans going on.
The Lucifer on that show is like, look, I ain't never made you do any of that shit. All right? I just run that spot. Y'all crazy. All right?
Who told you to stab your wife with a screwdriver?
I ain't do that shit.
To do with me.
Yeah, don't put that shit on me. Look at the name of that movie.
Cases.
The Devil All the Time. The Devil All the Time. Bunch of people in the South. Hasn't showed one clip of the devil, and now he getting the credit for all that shit, you know?
Sound like a lot of peace work. So, a lot of police work for him if he was in that town. A lot of overtime. I wish I would stop because this actually affected my real life, normal, physical, human kind of life. I'm doing a lot of overtime. I don't got time for the spiritual shit no more.
Listen to the saying, the devil all the time. Like even that is exactly what you were saying. It comes.
I'm in LA, man.
It was one of the dads. It was one of the. It was one of the dads. The dad is he's saying, yeah, my daddy say. Like we pray all the time because the devil be on us all the time trying to make us do crazy shit. So he's, Lucifer, like, this is exactly it. I ain't trying to do none of shit.
You're like, that's cap.
I'm running a club in LA, minding my own business. What I got to do with this?
That's cap. Mad people out here capping, putting my name in their mouth. That'll be the reason that they didn't get a deal. That shit didn't work out. I don't do nothing. I put you on. I mean, I just show you the deal. You do what you want to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
And then his hell, like I said, his hell don't even got locks on that shit. You could leave anytime you want. It's your guilt that keeping you here.
You here with that school? Yeah. My sergeant staying. I got a call to respond to. The double homicide down in, 6th and Wakerfield. I ain't got time for this.
Oh man.
The chief says he wants this closed this week. Got time for y'all games. But what was I gonna say about that though? Movie. Is there any Netflix original that you actually like movie? Because I like Black Mirror.
Like movie.
Like a movie, not a series or those kind of things, like the movies.
I think the number one watched. I'm gonna pull up that list. It's just to try to recap.
No, the one that you like. I don't care. The list.
No. I say that because I only kind of remember the new ones, right? So Devil All the Time, the Jamie Foxx movie. No.
What movie is that? What Jamie Foxx movie?
Something Power. Like let me see.
Oh, the Power Book.
The Power Book. That's like
not
50
Power
Cent.
Book.
I was like the Power.
I know what you're talking about though. It's with the flame guy.
Project Power. That's what it's called.
Project Power. My fault.
I saw that movie just because Jamie Foxx. I like Jamie Foxx. That's some dupe and deception though. I would never see that movie like on purpose.
Okay.
But it's just a generic movie. It's like literally if you remove him and you remove Christopher Nolan's Robin, so those are the two famous actors from there. If you remove those two actors, this is generic B movie, C movie shit. If it wasn't for the powers, like this is ripe for Steven Seagal's type movie, call it Soldier in Madagascar or some bullshit, some random ass title like that.
Damn. They got Jamie Foxx wrapped up. They got Jamie Foxx up.
It's just whack, man. Like
out for revenge.
I mean, kinda like somebody kidnapped his daughter. Like it's the Steven Seagal plot.
Yeah, we know where this is going.
Kidnap his daughter.
Mess with the wrong guy.
They drain in his daughter for the power drug, to give everybody else powers, and then like Jamie Foxx he don't like to use the power drug on himself because it's some like I don't know, some like crazy octopus. Because they're all kind of based on animals, so it's kind of like crazy octopus that like I don't know, like if it's like it could do crazy like force feedback in the water or some shit. So it was raining and he takes it out at the end and he just starts like watering people. I don't know. It just, like sounds like imagine like watering plants but like really ferocious, like really aggressive, like water in the plant. It's not good, man. It's not on my list. Not
Jamie Foxx is like a super waterer.
He only uses it once, so he's just really just like a former ex-military guy. Like, so he's really doing like
wow, that sounds awfully
generic.
That sounds awfully Steven Seagal.
Yeah. You see,
an X 3-letter group or military thing.
Let me see
Someone
if I find
killed your wife.
The IMDb. Like, see if
your
they got
wife is either killed. Your wife and family is either killed, right? Loved one is kidnapped.
Want a pill?
Or you were double crossed and left for dead, and you were ex-military or something.
Want a pill that gives its users unpredictable superpowers for 5 minutes, hits the streets of New Orleans. A teenage dealer and a local cop must team with an ex-soldier to take down the group responsible for its creation. See?
The squad.
Yeah.
The squad. There's always like 3 random people in different fields of work. A baker. An astronaut and an ex-military. So you always got the ex-military dude. Must team up to stop, whoever.
Here, taglines. What would you risk for 5 minutes of pure power? There you go. So that's that movie. That was the reason why I end up watching a movie like that is, that sadistic combination of depression and just wanting to, escape the pain via a food binge, And a part of that is like watching shit. And unfortunately, emphasis on this shit, you know? So.
Not many good things to watch, huh? Nothing uplifting, huh?
There are good things, but a lot of companies make shitty UIs, as we previously discussed. So at a certain point, you just pick something. You know? So like, because otherwise, you just watching like UI all night, you know? So here are the top 10 movies. Like, because I really just want the top Netflix movies. I didn't even put top 10. I just put top Netflix original movies, but this is literally their most popular original. So like these are like they don't do rankings or whatever, but I think these are the most watched movies.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
See, but I kind of like, man, all right. So The Platform is number 10. I haven't seen this, so I can't judge this.
I kind of wanted to see that one. That did look kind of interesting.
The Wrong Missy. I'm kind of ashamed to say I have seen this.
What is it? The Wrong Missy?
I guess, I don't know if you would say wrong. It's probably a romance comedy. But I saw it has these, shit, man. I'm like about to, I don't remember their name. Oh, maybe it says it. Really? It's David Spade and the other guy from, You Can Do It, like the SNL guy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's like SNL from the 90s, you know? I probably saw that because it's like girl things and shit, so I was probably in the wrong state of mind. Triple Frontier. I don't know what this is. This is two people look like military people in greenery, you know? That's it.
Someone was kidnapped or killed.
Yeah. The Irishman. I couldn't make it in this film. I probably saw one complete movie and still didn't finish this movie. This movie's fucking long, dude. This is one of those things I was watching it because it's supposed to be good. It might be good for somebody. Like my mom liked it, you know, but like it's just long. It's just actors acting, you know, like it felt like a family reunion. And I don't even remember these movies of those movies from like The Usual Suspects and all those 90s gangster movies. Felt like we got one more time in us. The most embarrassing part though is like I told you they played their young versions with makeup. And I thought I thought it was dudes in their 70s playing dudes in their 50s. And then my friend corrected me, like, nah, these are historical figures. Robert De Niro was like 20, and I was like, stop it. Stop, because he don't look 20 or something.
No.
He look has an old 20, dog. He bald in his shit.
He ain't look 20 in The Fan, dog, when that came out. I thought he was kind of old to be playing his part. Yeah, like a little kid. I'm like, man, when you had this kid, you like 50.
I was like 20. I think he was like 27. I was like, chill. It's still 27. That dude is not 27. That dude's 52. All right, that was a bad dude's 52. The Old Guard. I got tripped. Sometimes I get tricked by Kevin Smith. Good. I get tricked by Kevin Smith and Mark Bernardin because they sell me on the romanticism of creativity. Like, I swear, if I hear Mark Bernardin talk about anything, another dude who's from the Bronx, by the way, if I hear Mark Bernardin talk about anything, and he's a writer, so he'll fucking, like, romance the shit out of it. But sometimes I see that shit, and it's like, it ain't for me. And Old Guard is a graphic novel. They made it into a Netflix movie, and it's just generic movie 101. like literally, when the plot twisty thing happened in the thing, I was like, yo, it better not be this. And it literally was exactly that. And I was like, oh my gosh, this shit is fucking doo-doo whack, man. It's just fucking whack. Fucking doo-doo whack.
Okay.
Murder mystery. I don't know what this is. This looks like Jennifer Aniston.
Sound like something I would
other
watch.
Shit. Yeah. 6 Underground. I watched this. I tried to avoid it so much for so long. It took me a few months. Because I think this came out around Christmas time. But this was Michael Bay's Netflix original movie. Do I even gotta say anymore? This is Michael Bay movie. Ryan Reynolds. Action things.
An explosion monster. Yeah. Okay.
Actually, I just remembered now. Ryan Reynolds, super rich dude for whatever reason. He fake kills himself, like fakes his own death. Because he kind of just wants to be Batman, you know, like but he needs to be under the radar. So he faked his death, and anybody who joins the team, he fakes their death. That's how you join. So it's all like mercenaries. He's the only. He literally, actually, yeah, he is Batman. He's the only one who had to train up. Even though he's a rich guy, he trained up for this shit. Everybody else is kind of comes from like ex-military, whatever the fuck, you know. But and they're just kind of doing charity mercenary work. Like they're not necessarily trying to get paid. They're trying to do the right thing, you know.
They're like the A-Team.
Yeah, is that what the A-Team is? They're doing the right thing, not necessarily for money.
Well, I always presumed that they were good guys. I know they were mercenaries, but yeah, right. Like I feel like they were always doing the right thing. So I don't know that's necessarily true in the case, but they were the good guys. So they, you know, I don't think they were ever on missions for corruption. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it sounded like the A-Team, group of underground mercenaries.
But this is Michael Bay, so you know, lots of explosions, lots of car chases, sex, all the fun stuff. I like this though. I haven't been reading these, but for the Michael Bay one, what critics said, this is a terrible action movie that utilizes Michael Bay's worst instincts and none of his best. I don't know if it's that bad, but it's just like, it's just a Michael Bay film. Like, I probably don't need to ever see a Michael Bay film. You know, like maybe Bad Boys, and that's probably because of nostalgia, you know? Like, you know, because it's Will and Martin and A Prime. But outside of that, like, I'd have to go through Michael Bay's filmography, but I don't know if I like any Michael Bay films. Like, I mean, had Transformers been given to anybody else, we might have had good Transformer movies, you know? So there we got cars peeing on children, you know, like some weird shit like that. So
Transformers is nuts.
That's a real scene. They were peeing like oil on like
I know, people. Yeah, and there's balls. That big one has balls, remember?
I saw Spencer Confidential. That is Mark Wahlberg, right? Is that his name? Mark Wahlberg. Maybe a few other people. Yeah. Oh yeah. Speak of the devil. This is a Mark Wahlberg movie. A few other famous people in it. This is honestly probably the best movie on this list. Again, you don't need to see it. I wouldn't recommend it to nobody. It is generic, but it probably don't make me feel as regretful. It doesn't fill me with lamentation the way the others do, you know? Bird Box, I never saw it. I know people like it. You seen
a lot of
this,
people
right?
like that one too.
You ain't see this?
So it sounds like it's kind of mixed. Nah, I didn't see it. I heard it was good. It sounded like something I should have watched. I was like the blind people.
This shocked the fuck out of me. That this was number one. When I found out about this like earlier this year. Extraction is the number one Netflix movie of all time. Because this seemed like generic film 101. You even know what this film is?
I've seen it. I've seen the cover for it. Is it like a horror movie kind of thing?
Nah, see, you ain't even in the right. This is just Thor. This is fucking Thor being military or ex-military man doing action movie things, you know? And this movie is directed by, I believe...
Oh, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah.
I believe this is directed by Thor's, like, stuntman. You know, like, he's like a stuntman. If it's not Thor's stuntman, I believe it's a stuntman who directed this movie. And a stuntman, not to even, like, degrade him. It's just so you, like... This is how decentralized the world is, right? When we on this whole niche world, right? A stuntman has the number one movie of all time on Netflix for now, you know, like
yeah, that's kind
Thor
of crazy.
has the number one movie. Like, not even there's no IP as far as I know. There's no IP attached to this shit. Now it's its own IP. Fucking Extraction. Thor doing action movie things. You know. If I could see a more comprehensive list, maybe I could see. But it's like out of these movies, the ones I've seen, like I probably don't like none of these movies. Netflix power was the TV shows, dog. It wasn't really the movies, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sure there's good ones. I
kind of felt the same way.
But, you know, like...
That Bright movie was trash.
Oh, fuck that movie. That was just... we be wasting Will Smith right now, man. We be wasting Will Smith right now.
You know what? I felt like... Who made the Gemini Man? Who made that movie? Who did that?
Director-wise? I don't know.
Yeah. It's somebody.
I was looking at a 18 best Netflix movies thing, and so here's a movie I liked, but this don't count because this is really a documentary. I saw The Speed Cubers. You heard of that?
Oh, Ang Lee directed it.
Really? Man, Ang Lee is another one that like we waste his talent when we make him direct Western movies sometimes. Cause yeah, I don't know. It's some see. So I've looked at another list that said 18 best, and this has things I like on it, but they're all documentaries. The Speed Cubers is a documentary about the Rubik's Cube. Miss Americana is a Taylor Swift documentary.
Yeah, I don't count those.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I know there could be good or bad documentaries, but I don't count like nonfiction.
I saw Eurovision with my mom. This is the Will Ferrell movie. I think they're from Iceland or some shit, and they want to do the Eurovision contest. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
That's a real thing. Every country submits. It's almost like real life American Idol. It's been going on for years though. Like every country has a competition, and like the winner of Sweden goes on to take place, right? The whole entire European Union, you know. So every country has a song, and blah blah blah. So it's about that, but it's a Will Ferrell movie. It's Will Ferrell doing dumbass shit, you know.
Right.
So it's probably not good, but it was like so tempting to see because of the music fan in me. The Five Bloods, man. I ain't trying to hate on Spike Lee, but I didn't like this movie, dude. I'm sorry. Like
I didn't see it. I
don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, yeah. I don't know. I just didn't.
You don't like nothing. You don't like none of these movies.
Yeah. I haven't seen it, or I just don't like it. Yeah.
On Michael Bay, I think the only movie I really like from him, I like 13 Hours. I thought that was cool. Bad Boys, The Rock, Armageddon, Pearl Harbor.
He did The Rock?
Yep.
That's his best movie. I fuck with The Rock.
The Rock is good. Bad Boys, The Rock. Armageddon's alright for the time it come out. It's kind of.
I probably fuck with that too, though. Yeah, for the time.
I feel like I saw something that one of the actors asked Michael Bay, like, really, this is the plot for the movie? Like, why does NASA hire minors?
I saw that too. I remember.
It's a good call out. Pearl Harbor. I don't know. I don't like the movies with these events that are romanticized, and then like this is just a love movie. I don't like this or Titanic. I don't know. I just don't. I heard it's a real good movie. I've seen it too, but I don't like these. I don't know. If I see Pearl Harbor, I want it Saving Private Ryan style. Like I just want the military shit, like the event, not this dude's love drama surrounding this event. Like Saving Private Ryan's ill. I stumbled onto that movie accidentally. I put a VHS in one day, had no idea what I was watching, and The Shores of Normandy. I was just like, oh my God, what is this? Like I didn't even know what I was watching, and I just kept watching. Like, yo, that was one of the illest movies I'd ever seen. I was like, holy crap.
That's one of the few movies I've seen military people say like some of those things, you know, is like maybe the closest a film gets, you know.
It's a really good movie.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the best war movies you could see. Just the action is brutal, and just the unfortunate horrors of war and the people in it and things that happen. Yeah, it's real good. It is a good movie. Super ill. Pearl Harbor, not so much in my book. This shit ain't on the war movie list. This shit ain't on the.
I ain't seen that. I ain't seen that shit.
Because it's too that love the trans. They always the lover part of it. And this fuck out of here. I mean,
it's important.
It's bigger than you and your girlfriend. I don't
goes
care
back
about
to
that.
the commercialism we was talking about, though. You know.
Yeah.
Like if things were to return, would still some of those themes would they still stay? Because yeah, man, like some people want to tell that story, but like the vibe I get, and it's not all perfect stuff, but that's why I say like Apple TV like really got a thing going, because it really looked like some of this shit, like I don't know how this shit got greenlit. Whether some of it's good and some of it's bad, it's like they just giving people money and letting them do shit, and that's kind of cool, you know, like yeah. I don't know, like to me, that TED show caught me by surprise. That's easily their best show, probably. I love that show. That TED show, I told you, the nicest guy in the world bullshit. But I mean, from what I hear, like everybody involved with that show is kind of like a G. So they probably had the resume to maybe get away, to have somebody tell them yes, you know? But yeah, like, and I feel like to some degree, Netflix also is one of those places that will say yes a lot. But maybe, you know, right? Art is subjective, right? I think that's the thing. So the term, because it be seeming like sometimes they saying yes a lot for the quantity, and I get it. You know, like they got you trying to be number one against all these crazy behemoths they're fighting. You kind of just gotta say yes sometimes, you know. But yeah, man,
Right.
I don't know. Like some of those movies, it seemed like they made to be B movies on purpose. You know, like
right. And some of them are, I think.
Yeah, all
But
American
most of
crime
Michael Bay's
story.
movies are Transformers.
What?
Most of Michael Bay's movies are the Transformers, though. The majority, a lot of them.
Yeah, because he found my money, he struck gold. He ruined that shit. By the way, I told you, we're speaking of war movies. The latest Transformers on Netflix. That's essentially. It seems like it's a war Transformer movie. You know, like the struggles of being in the field.
Oh my! You know, Michael Bay is evil.
What do you do?
He co-owns Platinum Dunes, a production house which has remade horror films. I did not know this.
That's
not
the freedom.
That he's directly
that's
involved,
the freedom.
This is where it's coming from.
That's the freedom account right there.
The Texas Chainsaw 2003. Oh, he did all of that.
He hurt you. He hurt you, right?
He hurt you. He hurt you with the Transform.
He hurt me with that, but it's like
he likes Ryan Reynolds too.
He do.
He like Ryan Reynolds.
That's one of his boys.
The Hitcher, Friday the 13th, and A Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't know what the Hitcher is. I saw all of these movies, I think, except for the Texas Chainsaw, because there's so many. I'd have to look to see which one this was. Let me see if this one with Arlie Ermey in it. It is the one with Arlie Ermey. Okay, so I've seen all of these movies except I'm okay with the Texas Chainsaw. I've never been super attached to this, so I thought this was okay when it came out. But man, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, fucking terrible.
These are remakes?
Horrible remakes. Yeah. Horrible. Nightmare on Elm Street is like trash. You talk about the spirit.
Is this like the old one, like 20 years ago and shit, with the digital?
What you mean?
Right? Like what year was that Nightmare on Elm? Because I feel like
2010. Nah, this was the latest.
Oh, so maybe not. I don't know, man.
This was the latest. They recasted. The dude that played Rorschach in The Watchmen.
Yeah.
I don't think you could remake that movie without Robert Englund. I think that's just something that should just go away. Because I think at a certain point, he becomes Freddy Krueger. And there no longer
even with
is
makeup
a franchise.
And shit? Even with makeup and shit, there's too much mannerisms and vocal attached.
Robert Englund, he is like seeing Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Like, he just became that character. Like, that's it. For like 10 movies, too. So you've grown a whole long time with him, you know what I'm saying? So, but they didn't even capture the spirit of nothing, even the serious Robert Englund to like the jokey Freddy Krueger as it goes on. Like, they didn't get none of it. They didn't get the element from the first one that's serious or none of the funny. It was just whack. It's just, I just could have, this ain't Freddy Krueger. And Friday the 13th, that was just super generic. I didn't like that. It was just kind of, I don't know. You don't really get nothing new from it. But I didn't know this came from his production house.
Michael Bay, man. What Budden say, the first million is the hardest, right? Now you can just start making shit out the wazoo.
But he goes for the franchises, though.
Yeah, the autopilots.
Yeah, I had no idea. They're terrible, too. They're horrible.
Those shits are probably streaming on somebody's thing. They get that library money, you know? Yeah. Any other things, or should we wrap it? Oh, wait. Let's do this live shit. Let's watch this Let's watch this trailer. WandaVision.
Hmm.
You saw it?
I'm going to take it that maybe you don't like the way that works. Yeah, just my guess.
This might
See you
be.
happy? No.
I mean, like I already knew it. This was the direction it was going, but this is kind of like the first taste of it. Yeah, reading one of the comments, it said this because this was the prediction that people. I don't know it in detail like this guy seems to do it, but it might be loosely based on the House of M, where the event where Scarlet Witch had a mental breakdown, and she's using her abilities to kind of make the universe in her favor, So, and that's why Vision's alive and whatnot. Like this looked like a type of show that might be good for like the award winning, like normal show award things,
Yeah.
Like it literally looked like the show that belongs on the Netflixes and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know that you'll get the things that you like to look for in it, but I don't know. You didn't really get a lot from the trailer though either. It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't gonna be the normal superhero shit. This is more of the stuff like, cause I think stuff like this is cool in the comic book world because, and that's not to say it won't be cool here, but I think stuff like this is cooler in the comic book world because the comic book world is prolific. So you end up, for better or worse, you end up with 8 Wolverine books, right? And 3 X-Men books per month or whatever weekly installment they're doing, right? Whatever craziness, at least back in the day, probably not so much now. So then when someone weird, I see the Scottish guy's name, but one of these guys who's into like Cosmos and shit. But anyway, but one of the crazy comic book writers wants to do like, hey man, I want to do this quirky shit as a graphic novel. That's kind of cool too, because you also have the cool shit here, in the corner. Sometimes though, when you get limited amount of cool shit, especially in a COVID world where we're on a Marvel drought right now, yeah, is this the show? I mean, I don't know. I think because it's part of the whole encompassing story, there's a chance I might like it. But who knows? Maybe I won't. I don't know. Like I'll probably like it as, man, it's kind of cool because it's part of this. But maybe onto its whole, like, is it ever gonna get repeat watching from me? Probably not. Probably not. Like,
I have to see it. I have to see what the story is.
Would you even watch this? Because these are shows. You don't fuck with shows, but you fuck with the Marvel. So.
Not when they look like this.
Nah, but just in general, like I don't even think you saw any Netflix shows.
Most shows don't, or either if it's not a length thing, because most shows I don't watch.
The Marvel Netflix you didn't even watch. Now they weren't canon.
But I did. I watched Daredevil season 1.
I forgot.
And that was the illest show from just hearing what you had to say.
And you
saw
Punisher things too. You saw Punisher, right? Daredevil too.
And I saw up to the Punisher stuff in Daredevil, and I really liked the Daredevil show. I thought that was a super ill show. Like I actually wanted to keep watching. The action was dope. It had all of the stuff. The Punisher comes. All of that shit is ill. Like, yeah, like that story, just the way it all played. It not even so much the story, but just the way it was played out was like super dope. But most shows aren't doing that, one, and they're long. I don't have time for this shit. So if it don't look appealing, like I think that one looked appealing from the jump. Like it was dark. I don't know.
It was the first one too, so that helped.
And it was the first one, so it had like some new appeal. But then after that, it's just like,
everybody went ham. Yeah,
I ain't got time for this. I ain't got time for nothing. Yeah, and y'all probably not doing nothing crazy. And y'all wasn't, because you watched all of them shows and didn't like none of them. The only one you sound that you liked was the Jessica one, and that was because
season
the
1,
bad guy,
Doctor Who. Yeah.
Like that one might sound like one I would want to watch.
Yeah, season 1
story is probably interesting, but
season 2 is really bad. And then season 3 I gave up. I didn't watch it.
I watch shows every once in a while.
Yeah,
I watch shows every once in a while, but this one, I don't know. There's nothing in particular that would draw me to this one, even though it is in the rest of the universe. Like it depends on what.
I don't think none of their TV shows would draw you in. Maybe the only one, probably the one that I'm quote unquote most excited for, if you gotta be, because they're all weirdo shows. I At least the ones I'm counting weirdo are the movie to the ones making the transition from movie to TV. Winter Soldier, Falcon show. Because I assume they would be doing things I like. I assume they'd be doing Captain America movie style things, and that was never.
Yeah, that one
was
sounds
good.
like it might be cool.
Yeah, all the other ones, Loki, and
I don't know if I got time for that.
I forgot. I think like She-Hulk. She-Hulk got cast. By the way, they casted She-Hulk. She-Hulk is getting a show.
That'd be interesting. I wonder if it's just a Hulk show with She-Hulk.
Well, I mean,
then I won't watch it.
From what Lucifer, right? She is a lawyer. She is, from what I remember, right? You know, like she is.
Yeah. No.
And she, as far as I remember, she's kind of smart the whole time. She's not dumb like
No, that's right.
Yeah. Like, so
Hulks are generally in good professions. Like he's a doctor, she's a lawyer. The Hulks make out pretty good.
I think I want to say maybe Moon Knight getting a show. What are they called? Like Marvel. What do they call them shit? Season 4. What do they call them shits? Like Arc 4 or some shit or
Phase 4.
Yeah.
Moon Knight might be interesting, but I didn't see. So all of these things theoretically might sound cool, but I'd have to see what the show is. The Winter Soldier one sounds good. I feel like the She-Hulk one is going to be some shit I don't want to see.
WandaVision, December. Falcon, Winter Soldier. Loki. What If, which in a both. Yeah, right. The most interesting one is animated, all right? So don't get too excited. That shit could have been hard. That shit could have been hard. They could have made What If mainstream if they used real actors.
Why they did that?
Because they're afraid. That and it costs maybe money. You know, you got to bring back Robert Downey Jr.
It's What If.
You know?
No, it's What If. It's What If.
That's the easy way to bring back Robert Downey Jr. and friends because it ain't canon. It's just What If. But this might be like a testing ground, though, because you could do all kinds of fuckery with What If, you know?
I'll check that out. I'm definitely going to check that out.
Everybody's favorite Marvel character, Hawkeye.
No, it's not.
Hawkeye is getting a show.
See, these shows I feel like are going to be...
He's training his daughter to be Hawkeye girl, you know? You want to see that?
You're basically going to get the Netflix shows, I feel like, just maybe a little bit better production. And, like, what are they going to do with them is what I'm... She-Hulk sounds like just what you said.
Here are the 3 new
She's
ones.
A lawyer. It's going to be a lawyer show. It's going to be like the Daredevil, but probably not as cool.
Yeah, because you're going to see him in court now. Her in court a lot now. Like, probably with a case.
It's going to be just that. It's going to be like cases. Law and Order with She-Hulk. There you go.
So like, and I'm very heavily Lucifer biased. They did it. I don't feel like every show does this, but like when you hear me complain about like fillers and all this shit and Naruto, blah blah blah. So Lucifer has the little main storyline with the heaven and hell stuff, right? And then they're doing the procedurals, right? In the middle of all that, right? They're wasting my time with this crime thing. I don't remember them, but I feel like somewhere along the lines, I feel like they didn't do this in season 1, but somewhere along the line, someone got smart writing this, and I feel like they made those cases like lessons for Lucifer, like like life lessons and shit. So I probably like this. I like this show for all the wrong reasons, you know. Like I kind of just relate to that dude, and I see him as me as some crazy shit, because he's honestly just a child, just learning how to communicate with other people, basically. Like, so whatever like lesson, if he was struggling with like, you know, how to be his true self, you know, the case would somehow magically be about that too. Like, oh, it's a person who wears a mask, so they're ashamed to be the truth. Some bullshit like that, you know? Like, so if it is gonna be procedural, like, it would be nice you take that extra increment, cause even though it is like Monster of the Week, it's at least tied to something, you know? Cause yeah, otherwise it's just Monster of the Week, and that can be very whack sometimes, you know?
Hey, it's Law and Order.
Yeah. Cause like Law and Order, for me, like I didn't really watch that show, but outside of like, I know what SVU because my mom loved that shit. Like Mariska Hargitay, she probably falls in love with somebody. Maybe it's the dude from Oz, which is always weird watching all those dudes in jail be cops now. But yeah, Law and Order is crazy. It took Ice-T and all the dudes from Oz and made them cops, you know?
Right.
But yeah, like I feel like there isn't really maybe an all-encompassing overarching storyline. Like I feel like almost those shows are really about the procedural and then some
It
tidbits.
is.
Yeah, yeah.
There's like filler that's like
Yeah.
background peripheral kind of things.
Almost like the characters are the filler themselves, you know?
Little mini arcs, but they really not and stuff like that or whatever in the background mini arcs. But yeah,
So after real quick,
I
after
don't know.
Hawkeye, is the people who are not even coming from the movies. Straight Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, and She-Hulk. So
Moon Knight seems interesting. I don't. I gotta see. I don't know. I'm just gonna wait and see. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because of the movies, but I don't know. It's hard to say. Like they could be super ill too. Like they might make him real ill because you can make him ill. Like Daredevil was ill. I thought those were ill.
I
So maybe
mean, the
they
hope
will.
that I hold out is that Kevin Feige is in charge of everything now, and the
Mm.
movies have been dope, and these are his first TV show attempts. So I'd like to think the TV shows will be dope too, even if they're like artsy dope and they're not for me, like the WandaVision. Like I feel like WandaVision's probably gonna be dope for somebody, even if it's not dope for me, because I probably am more about the generic superhero shit. But you know, they're at least doing cool shit instead of dumb shit. You know, like so. You know,
Yeah, if they're anything like the movies, if they kind of give you a mini movie every episode and this overarching, because I mean the movies are a show essentially. The
yeah,
way they
yeah,
formatted it, like you have a season essentially. If you took all what is it, 19 movies, right? Let's say they weren't as long as they were, right? But
yeah.
you kind of have a season across
Or maybe you have a
different
phase.
things,
Maybe you have a phase.
but it's a whole story. You just get to see mad details of the individual pieces. So if they kind of did that, even within a single show, and just like really made every episode not like theatrical, but just you got that from it. Every episode was really like, yo, they went in on every episode. Like, yeah, then that'd be dope. You know what I'm saying? Or if the stories are good, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, yeah.
the reason the rest of the shits be whack is because they just wrap up regular shit in something else. And here's superheroes, but this is right like the Smallsville thing. Here's Dawson's Creek with Superman, and it's just like, all right, I don't want to watch Dawson's Creek though. I want to watch Superman. So if you give me a Superman story and some ill stuff, like I get it. You got to put some shit in there too. I'm not mad. I'm not knocking the hustle, but it can't be like, all right, I'm watching Law and Order
Can't just
basically,
be all
right? And
that.
now
Yeah.
She-Hulk is just here, and it's like, well, then I'll just watch Law and Order then, right? If I want that. Why? So, but if they, I don't know, because I felt like Daredevil, you get Daredevil. Like he ain't even doing the lawyer shit that much. I don't remember. Like, yeah, you
It
see him be
wasn't.
a
Yeah, it
lawyer
wasn't.
and shit,
They were too
but that
busy
wasn't
being
like a
poor
focal
to even
point.
have cases. Yeah.
Yeah, he out sneaking out at night, beating people up. Like you see the Daredevil. So yeah, and it had TV shit in it too. All little bullshit and Froggy and the girl. It had all of that stuff, which is in the comics too, but it didn't feel like.
It also had Daredevil taking 13 episodes to get his fucking costume.
I wasn't mad though, because he was
Because
getting
he
it
was
in though.
Daredevil from episode
He
one.
was being the
Yeah.
Daredevil
Yeah.
though. He was still the Daredevil.
And you
I get it,
probably never
but
saw season 3, which honestly is like was the only good thing they did in that era where they kept dropping crap. But that one's Kingpin Part 2, and he does he does real Kingpin things. He's kind of just in a room, kind of running the world, you know. But
the bad guys were good. The Kingpin, like
in that show,
casted.
you get Mutai Daredevil, you know, and Bullseye's wearing the costume. It's like, Come on, dude. Just let him wear. He doesn't wear that costume again once in that show. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. But the rest of the Netflix ones didn't quite sound like it. Sounded like they wrapped up regular stuff for the most part in superhero things. And then it didn't have anything interesting going on. Because if you give me an ill story, I might deal with some of the bullshit if it's a cool plot going on or something like that. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Good bad guy, right? You gotta have a good bad guy. Gotta have a good.
So it can be tough sometimes.
Who's the bad guy? Who's the bad guy in the Defenders?
I'm trying. Hold on. I'm trying. I'm literally trying.
Trash. You trash.
It is trash, but I'm trying.
Don't even say it. Trash. You don't even remember.
I think it's the Foot Clan. The Hand.
You don't even know who the bad guy. Look,
the Hand. Yes, the Foot Clan.
I think. You don't even know. How bad could they have been? You barely remember. I think it was them dudes. They was doing some bad stuff.
The real bad guy was Iron Fist because he came and fucked everything up.
No challenge. The Defenders had no challenge. There's no show. Who's the bad guy for Cage?
The Cottonmouth. Yeah, but he was only bad mouth for 7 episodes. Then he dies, and then it's not guy who is not as cool as Cottonmouth.
So whack bad guy.
Bad guy 2 is super whack. Cottonmouth was dope. Cause I related to his story. He was whack in that he didn't have any of his comic book powers, but I mean he was dope in that he's just a dude who wanted to play music. He got a nightclub, and
all right, this is bias. This is bias talk. Cage is off the list now. Who's the bad guy? He makes beats. This is why he likes it.
He didn't want to be doing gangster shit. His mom forced him into gangsterdom. Out here, don't want to be doing drugs. He just trying to play his Rhodes keyboard, yo, and people just keep bothering him.
Okay.
Got a Biggie poster on his wall with the crown and all that. You know,
That's enough of this.
It's in Harlem.
You said you like Jessica Jones, and a lot of that came
bad
from
guy. Yes, the bad
guy, his power and what he could do. It made this plot interesting.
Bad guy number 2, the mother is it's not interesting. It's not.
All right, there you go. And what other show? Iron Fist. You dogged that show left and right. Who was the bad guy?
Evil Iron Fist.
Okay.
I think. Well, Evil Iron Fist is for number 2. I think the bad guy. Damn, I can't remember it, but it might just be like corporate takeover people. Yeah, it's just people wanting to do stock exchanges and shit. It's Wall Street.
What do they call them?
Yeah, that guy was like a CEO, and he happened to he did a resurrection.
Barbarians at the gates. That's what they were. They were stock raiders, company raiders, whatever they call those dudes. Corporate raiders.
Yeah.
Okay, so Iron Fist faced off against corporate raiders.
Yeah,
right?
it's just whack. It's not good superhero.
This is gonna be ill, right? How's Iron Fist gonna take them down? You think he'll be able to
do mystic
expose
shit?
The false accounting? You think he'll be able to dig into the financials and show that this really isn't a good merger? Yeah, this sounds very fucking whack. So yeah, no, that's why. No story. Without a bad guy, there's no story. Because the whole story is based on what the challenge is. Even, outside the personal little meta shit, like if there's no bad guy, it's whack. When Punisher's the bad guy, Daredevil's ill. Daredevil super ill. Sound like Jessica Jones, ill bad guy, ill story. Because you're gonna have to do ill shit to do it. The Hand goons. Beat them up. Right? Streets of Rage. You know how that go. You know how we take care of the goons. Streets of Rage. And that's boring. Right? What's corporate raiders? I don't even know what to say about Iron Fist. Like, I don't know. Team up with Michael Douglas, right? Team up with Gordon Gekko. Crossover. That's how you take care of that. Right?
Wall Street 3, dog.
It's just going to be trash. You know what I mean? And that's why. However, I don't know how they write it. If they start with the bad guy, they start whatever, but it has to. That shit makes it whack when you don't have a good.
I remember I used to binge the fuck out of those things the first 2 days just because Iron Fist made me rethink my whole life. like, what am I doing with my life?
So we'll
But
see.
yeah.
We'll see what they do.
There was also
We'll see.
it's not exact. It's a different Disney umbrella, but there was also a Mandalorian trailer. But it's more Mandalorian things, so you don't really need to see that. It's
Mandalorian look alright though.
it
Like
is good. It's good.
it look alright. It don't look.
I
Yeah, I don't
probably
know.
don't
It look
think
alright.
it's like God's gift, like a lot of people do, but it's fine.
Yo, it looked better than the last three
Like
movies.
but me personally, like I'd probably take Rogue One over it. Um,
Of course.
but
No, Rogue
I
One
don't
is.
think I think the majority of the fan base probably taking Mandalorian over Rogue One though. That's just me. Baby Yoda's too
Yeah,
strong for
well,
me.
a lot of
For
people
most
are
people.
sheep too. So let's just say Rogue One don't exist with cool things.
Rogue
That's
One and Mandalorian are the only two good things. I don't take any of those three movies. I don't take any of those. Or Han Solo. I forgot how Han Solo came out. I don't count. And all those other movies are just kind of whack.
now Rogue One is just a dope movie,
Yeah.
and it's a dope Star Wars movie. But it's just overall just like everything was good about it. Story, the characters, the chat, like everything, right? Like,
Yeah.
and it's tied to something you know already, and they tie it into that, so that was super cool too. The Mandalorian looked like a cool Star Wars show. It looked like if you like Star Wars, that like you'll probably like
That
this. Like even
definitely
when I was watching it, it didn't feel like they were wrapping something else up necessarily in it. Because I watched the first episode, it was a lot of lore and these things, so
yeah.
it looked alright.
Mandalorian's good. There's definitely a lot of episode of the Monster of the Week style shit, Mission of the Week. And then in episode 7, they're like, "Oh shit, we running. It's time. There's a bad guy. There's a bad,
I get it. I get it.
See, that's why.
But it don't look terrible.
This is just, this is really the the Japanese thing I told you, right? Lone Wolf and Cub. But and to just keep it to a more now thing, something I'm actually familiar with. This is really Cowboy Bebop. As I don't. Maybe if I saw Cowboy Bebop, I would get into it now, but I didn't like it then. And I was one of the reasons. I was like, yo, this just seemed like random fucking missions. And then on episode 24, yo, what's that guy, Van or Vash or whatever the fuck? No, Vash was another anime.
That's from Trigun.
Yeah. He was dope. But this other Vicious, because Casper David loved that dude. Vicious. And yeah, now Vicious matters for the last 2 episodes. And like, wait, what? I was like, we got lore now? like, what?
It was a good show though. Like I watched a few episodes of Cowboy Bebop. Like,
yeah,
I don't know, what is it, like noir? What do they say?
Film noir
style kind of. Yeah. It was an okay show.
Yeah.
I think I watched a few episodes of it. It was okay. I didn't follow the whole thing. I just remember seeing it a few times on Adult Swim or whatever it used to come on.
I did see the whole thing.
It's a little slower paced than I like animes though. It was like a more serious, like I don't know, not Law and Ordery, but Monster of the Week, Case of the Week.
It might as well be.
Yeah, nah, but it wasn't terrible though. But those ain't the kind of, I don't know. That wasn't it for me. Wasn't it for me.
Any other things, or should we wrap it up?
Yeah. High hopes for the Marvel shows. We'll see.
You want to do Song of the Week and then call it?
Song of the Week.
You got it?
Man, I don't even know if I have one. I feel like it's been great. I'm gonna play stuff that I've been listening to. This is gonna be crazy.
It don't gotta be
it's not even a rap song.
It don't. Oh shit.
You know what I've been listening to? Yeah, Secret of the Forest from Chrono Trigger.
Oh, is that on Spotify or is that
Sean Shafianaski? I'm probably saying that wrong, but it's from the Chrono Trigger soundtrack. But I told you I had like a game list of like kind of game songs. I used to hate this song back in the day, but I've played it. Is the Costa del Sol song from Final Fantasy VII. I don't know if you remember that town. But anyway, that's my track of the week. Secret of the Forest from Chrono Trigger.
All right. I'm going to do 2. Maybe I'll do 3. All right. So I was freestyle. I always got to get a wave track in there. PHOLO and Gloomy. They dropped Admire. That's a hot beat. And for the purposes of freestyle, there's no break, which is rare in Wave. Wave love they floaty moments. It just has a floaty intro and it's just all beat and it ends. I was like, oh shit, so that was dope. Oh, like I don't know, man. In the interest of being open, like Baby Keem dropped EP, like 2 songs, and I guess the main single is this song "Hooligan," and it's the kind of like the challenging stuff quote where I just be wondering, am I like too old sometimes, or is this guy talented and I just can't see it? I'm not even trying to like throw shots, but it's like the beat's cool. But like sometimes it just feel like, man, if you confident on these songs, like that's what matters, dog. Like you and whatever feeling it is you try and project. And also sometimes just coming too much from our hip hop origins, right? I think sometimes with some of these artists, like, like they making songs, right? Like they making songs now. It's not necessarily about the wordplay. Like they literally making songs now, like
Right.
like singers, right? So he got a track honestly on his album because he don't have a lot on Spotify. Well, my favorite track on his album is called My Ex, and it's just him essentially singing on an acoustic guitar. That's it. So how hip hop is that? I don't know, but but I thought it was dope. I just thought it was dope. So
Who's the artist?
Baby Keem. I can't remember if this guy is Kendrick's cousin or not. He might be.
Okay.
If he is though, but it's definitely different. Don't expect Kendrickism ever. And damn, we never talked about it. There was a bunch of Kendrick leaks, but I kind of shouted out 2 Baby Keem songs and a Wave track. So I guess I'll stop there because otherwise I'm just cheating with my songs.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. I'll be checking out Cookin Soul. Look like he came out with a new beat album.
See, I don't even know who that is, but you told me that, so I need.
I don't know who Cookin Soul is either.
Okay.
The first time before I'll wrap it up, but the first time I heard it was a dude when I lived in Albany. He used to rap and he would make his little things and stuff. And he actually has an album that I still like today. I don't listen to it, but he was taking beats. And it was some Cookin Soul, and I thought it was somebody he knew. I thought he knew this person, but he was just taking the beats, and I was hearing the tagline, Cookin Soul. And then when I found it on Spotify, but yeah, I don't know if he's ever produced like in the rap game or like I've never really heard of him, on tracks or nothing like that. But he makes like lo-fi beats. I like his album.
Lo-fi world.
There's rappers on his stuff now that I say that. I don't know if they were just put on there, if they really just worked with him, but he does have rappers on him. So I don't know.
Some dude looking for beats. I think I don't know if I told you. Yeah, he messaged me after the beat battle today. Yo, where's this Discord? Where's this Discord?
See, people want the beats.
Yeah,
if you build if you make them, they will listen. All
right, man. The final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Be true to yourself out there. All right? You gotta stay frosty out there in the battlefield. Watch your 6. I mean, Agent KS signing off. And next week, the Plague Doctor might be here. I don't know.
All kinds of characters. Like a Mortal Kombat character select screen.
Stay true. Stay true and watch your 6. That's my final thoughts.
All right, man. Skibbity doo bop bay.